So sorry, but I'm not taking off my glass.
Lockyer takes a shot, it's low! He's got it! I think he's got it!
Merlin, are you going to speak?
But for me, it was a winner. David.
Well, I'm afraid it wasn't for me, Margaret.
Thank God you're here. Grandma's been raped.
On.
Welcome back to another episode of On the Air Tonight, the number one show, podcast, whatever you want to call it, reviewing free-to-air content where there's a guarantee that there's someone hungover every week.
This time you'll have to guess who it is.
Yeah, it's the guy who fucked up the intro. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom. Welcome back.
Episode 22.
How you feeling, champion?
Mate, I've got a real itchy nose. It's gonna look like I've got a fucking.
It was that big of a night.
Yeah, nah. Let's. Oh, come on now.
Easy. We got family listening.
It was just the beers, I swear, Mum.
Just the mouth beers.
No nose beers.
Yeah. I picked Jake up this morning from Queen Street Mall, just from the city.
Ann Street.
Yeah, Ann Street.
You found me just on the side of the road.
We agreed to meet here at the studios at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And I knew Jake was out on the beers last night, and I was like, "You'll be right. Have a good night. Come in with a story tomorrow."
The cracked voice.
He messages me at like 9:30. He's like, "Hey man, the buses are cooked. I can't get in there till 11." I'm like, "I'll pick you up, champion."
What a legend.
Daddy's coming
What
through.
an absolute sweetheart. Just saw me on the side of the road with a piece of cardboard that says, "We'll pod for food." Yeah. We'll pod for beer.
I was like, "That's not him." What? Jake, you standing next to the homeless guy in the blue shirt?
Oh, Jesus. That's
Fuck,
him.
it's you.
And I was just like, this guy just pulled up in a Broncos shirt in the car. I was like, I'm not getting in the car with this guy.
Yeah. I had a much better night than you, I think.
Yeah, so we're recording this the day after the Broncos actually won a game.
We're recording this on Saturday, the 1st of May, if you're listening.
Mm-hmm.
Donkeys got their second win of the season over the Titans last night.
Mate, happy
Couldn't
days.
be prouder.
Happy days.
The club's biggest comeback in their history.
Was it actually, statistically?
Yeah. They've never come back. 22-point comeback in the first half.
Yeah, right. Because it's their...
Insanity.
I mean, part of Broncos' infamy is that they've always been pretty good comeback specialists in the past.
Yeah, they have been from time to time.
Queensland as well.
Yeah, Queenslanders never say die attitude.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Battler attitude, mate.
For 15 minutes in, 22-0 down. And then we come back to win 36-28.
Yep.
So biggest fucking comeback ever. Bronx are back.
It's
2021 year of the horse.
Just when I thought it was going to be an AFL town again, I was just like, yes, the wooden spoons are at it again. So Brisbane's becoming an AFL town.
Nah. In your dreams, mate.
One win on the trot, giddy up.
Honestly, Brisbane sucks when the Broncos are losing. This
Yeah.
whole city fucking sucks if we're wooden spooners.
Especially post-COVID, just feels a little bit dystopian. Just see some people walking around in hazmat suits, a couple of tumbleweeds in Queen Street.
Not a single horse to be seen. It's fucking weird. You come out of work and it's like you're above Caxton Street and there's no one there. And it's like, man, if Caxton Street was in like Sydney or Melbourne, it would be packed every single night. I was chatting to Dan about this the other day. Like, it's just the location of it it's so fucking good. It's above a one-team town, a one-town team. Like, everyone likes the Broncos, but just no one fucking goes there because it's Brisbane and no one does anything here.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially when we're losing.
And it's, yeah, I mean, like, that's the big comparison is that, like, obviously Sydney and Melbourne are much bigger towns. Melbourne's obviously got this in spades where, like, the MCG's right in the middle of the city, so there's bars and stuff around. But Brisbane's also got that with Caxton being walking distance from Suncorp. Sydney's like, fucking, you have to be on an hour train to get out to ANZ Stadium, don't you?
Yeah, I don't think it's that close to anything.
And there's no infrastructure around, yeah.
No, it's like, fuck, it's just so set up for a perfect night out, but yeah, everyone's just a pussy.
Yeah.
I live in a town full of pussies.
Hey, listen, you can't have everything, all right? You got the win. I lost me multi.
Not to insult our entire fan base.
No.
But yeah, no, it was a good night.
Good night for you.
It was a good night for me. Even great night for you. Just
Big night for
you.
me. Yeah, finished up an old work. I had my last day at the job.
An old work.
Old work.
Finished up at an old career.
Still not telling anyone what I do. If you know me, you know what I used to do, but that's in the past now. I suppose I can say I was working as a debt collector, so you can tell why I didn't want to fucking tell people.
So naturally, you fucking sent it on your departure party. Yeah.
Yeah, put it this way, I'll be getting a call on Monday about the bills that I racked up last night.
You're like, I know how this works. I can just tell you to fuck off and nothing happens.
Yeah, just don't call me for the next 6 years.
Taste your own medicine.
But yeah, big night. Knocked off at like 3:30. Didn't get home till probably 2:30, 3 o'clock. So good 11 hours of drinking.
I told you we didn't have to do this morning.
Yep, you did, and I was like, no, I'll power through.
We'll get her done.
This will be a real crawl to the finish line.
It's because it's that ice road truckers mentality. We're still coming off get her done,
Mate, you got to have that mentality to get through the harsh winters.
Would Art quit just because he had a night on the beers?
Bert would not quit.
Art Bert would record a pod hungover.
Put a couple of ratchet straps on some planks of wood and be fucking off his merry way.
I'm hungover and the bus doesn't work. Guess I'll MacGyver myself out of this situation.
It's a real hardship over here, mate. I'm a real battler.
How am I going to get out of this one? Text Tom. Can you pick us up, bro? Unconventional approach.
Hey, look, to be fair, I was like, hey, listen, let's just push it back an hour. I'll meet you there. And you're like, and then you're a champion. You're like, I'll come pick you up.
Yep.
I wasn't just like, please, sir, I can't get around.
No, you weren't. But I wasn't going to leave you on the side of the road. I was like, this guy needs a hand.
Yeah, look, I appreciate that. Public transport in Brisbane cannot be trusted at the best of times.
No. And then, I was telling you on the way here, I was bragging to you about how good of a morning that I've had. Because you're like, I got Hungry Jacks on the way here. I'm hungover as fuck.
I've had 5 hours sleep. Yep.
I'm like, I went to bed at 10 p.m. and went to the gym this morning.
I got a full 8 hours after watching the Horsies win and went to the gym. I got some avocado on toast.
Yeah. Soul's rejuvenated.
I was just like, I hate you so much right now.
Don't fucking brag to me, you dog.
You're just gleaming. You're just a glowing light, and I'm just an absolute puddle of mess.
Puddle of mud.
Yep.
I was like, dog, you okay? You came out of the bathroom before you took, I think, your second dump in the morning.
All right, who's keeping score here? I can watch me BMs. My nurse.
You come out, I'm like, bro, you good? And I thought you were crying. You're like, no, I just splashed some water on my face. It's like, you look clammy.
Get it together, Jacob. Come on.
Crying on the toilet.
It's showtime. I'm just
You in the trademark bathroom just
5 minutes before
water on your face.
5 minutes before having a mental breakdown, like it's the opening of 8 Mile, just like no, I'll be good.
Pull it together, Jake. Just slapping your cheeks.
The show must go on.
It's like, dude, we can postpone. I got this.
Look, we weren't about to pull the plug. I wouldn't have heard the end of it if we got to the studio, watched something, and then I was just like, nah,
can't do it.
I can't come to the trademark studio and just use that toilet twice and not have anything to show for it.
Oates at first, though, that only half of us are hungover. I mean, it's always either all or none.
Yeah, you're not wrong, because it's usually both of us getting weird together.
Yeah, we're breaking new ground.
We are.
Tomorrow will be a different story. We've got Violent Soho later today.
Oh, mate, tell me how to taste.
Hell, fuck yeah.
Cannot wait.
River stage, the scene, the stage is set.
Yep.
Hopefully the heavens don't open up and we just get fucking pissed on.
According to Bomb, it's 80% chance, so don't get your hopes up, brother.
Don't check the weather forecast, bro.
Why?
I've never checked a weather forecast in my life and I've made it this far. You lick your finger and point it up and then...
What's that got to do with it?
Hope for the best. I don't want your negative attitude fucking bringing the rain.
I haven't got an MRI in my life and I've made it this far. Like, it's just completely irrelevant, mate. Just because you haven't checked it. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to the people and say you've never checked the weather as well.
Why don't I even check the weather?
That's such a lie.
What difference does it make? If it rains, it rains.
That is such a lie that you've never checked the weather.
I reckon I've checked the weather, like, paid attention to a weather forecast maybe 3 times in my life.
Unbelievable.
It probably comes down to a lack of like outdoor activities on my part as well.
You're already backpedaling. Sorry, Mozzie in me face. That wasn't me, just for those watching, just me waving. Fuck off, Tom.
This shit takes smells.
You think I smell of alcohol? You stink of lies, my friend.
Stink of bad opinions.
Just pungent with fallacy.
No, it definitely comes down to like most people would check the weather when they go and play a game of cricket or go camping.
Yeah. Which you've definitely gone camping before.
Yeah, but
You started by saying that you've never checked the weather, and then you backpedaled and said, "Oh, maybe I've checked the weather 3 days of my life." Mate, you've checked the weather.
I checked the weather to this morning.
Oh, you checked it this morning.
No, it's just that's how far I backpedaled now.
Oh, right. Yep. You're checking it right now.
If you're watching on YouTube, I've never checked the weather in my life.
Look,
Brisbane, cloudy, 21 degrees.
Brisbane podcaster exposed.
The headline. We've got 5 p.m., which is when... So Soho comes on at 6:30. We've got a 60% chance of rain, clouds, and 19 degrees.
Beautiful.
It's going to be a rainy affair.
Yep.
But hey.
I bought a poncho yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
I need to get one of those.
Mm-hmm. They sell them at Kmart for $2.
Did you get 2?
No.
It's all right. It's not like I picked you up.
Oh, no,
Got another mozzie as well.
Just living off the land, like the episode that we watched.
The Alaskan Bush People, which we will get into after we read our reviews of the week.
Absolutely. We had a handful of reviews this
We've
week.
got a few to get through. Of course, we have the resident reviewer, Paprika Paps.
Papk.
Papk, part Australian, part Chinese.
The smoked pap. Yeah. So we've got 3 reviews to read out this week. First and foremost from our residential reviewer.
Part Australian, part Chinese. 5 stars, I can only assume. Couldn't find the episode reviewed of Ice Road Truckers. Didn't matter as I watched another episode as they're all sort of the same. The truck drivers are either brave, stupid, or both. With the inclusion of advertisements, I felt like killing myself.
He's not wrong.
Forgot what watching free-to-air TV was like. Not sure how they've made 11 seasons of this show. But sterling work again from Tom and Jacob.
Oh.
Well done.
Cheers, Pap.
Peter Sterling work. Beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Don't bring that guy into the conversation.
Another 5-star from part Australian, part Chinese.
Mate, thanks so much, Pap.
That's so generous.
It is. It always, whenever I'm feeling a little bit dusty or blue, I can always rely on Pap to raise me up.
I can't wait till you get to meet him one day.
It'll happen.
It'll happen.
I feel like I know him already.
I feel like you guys are...
I'm the son that he never had.
And you're the brother I never had.
Hey. Come on.
Give it here. Getting way too real.
This has been a very chill, like, very low, not low energy, but just relaxed. Welcome back to Saturday Mornings with Nia tonight.
With 2 brothers, with 2 friends that are the brothers that they each of them never had.
It's just 2 brothers. The second of our 3 reviews comes from Serene.
Yes.
A very good friend of Tom's.
Yes.
Serene,
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Yeah.
She's been a good promoter. I think she coined the reference. They're like a middle shelf Hamish and Andy.
Yeah, mid-tier Hamish and Andy, I think.
I'll take it.
Big fan of the pod, listens every week.
If Hamish and Andy are like a bottle of Johnny Blue, I guess we're just...
Gordon's gin.
Not even the same alcohol.
I don't know what Johnny Blue is.
Johnny Walker Blue label. You've never had... Forget about it. People are just like, has this guy ever had a drink before? It's just so obviously you've got... For those of you listening who don't drink whiskey, Johnny Red's the cheapest. And then it goes, I think it's Johnny Green, Johnny Gold, and then Blue Label's like $200 bottle of whiskey.
Okay.
So it goes up in...
So that's Hamish and Andy.
Yep, so they're Johnny Blue and we're paint thinner. Hand sanitizer you get at the door at every establishment these days.
I'll take it.
Yep. But Serene writes, on the air tonight, hands down a masterpiece of funny as fuck content. Like meth, this podcast is addictive, and after each episode, I am scratching for my fix, which unfortunately is a week away.
Holy shit.
Meth aside...
You see why she's such a big fan of the show.
She's tweaking more. Serena,
You have to be on meth to find this podcast hilarious.
I think you've got an addictive personality. That's why you're feeding the podcast so much and the meth. Oh,
I love it.
Meth aside, Tom and Jacob, thank you for all the laughs. I'll be honest, I don't watch any of the TV shows you speak about, but thank you for the informing me of the great quality free shit I can watch if I'm desperate. 5 out of 5, good quality shit. You've definitely got me hooked. Serene the Bean.
If I'm desperate.
Yep.
She's tweaking for meth every week.
Yeah, you mentioned meth twice in a post.
And you're like, but I got Netflix. I'm not watching Ice Road Truckers.
There's some fishy here.
Something's going on.
You can afford paid subscriptions and you've got a meth addiction?
Hold on.
Oh, well, something's not no.
Something fishy going on with Serene the Bean. Thank you, Serene, for a lovely review.
Thank you so much, Serene.
And for all the support you give to the show.
That was so from Pap to Serene. We had 2 very warm reviews.
Yeah.
And Tom's going to read our third one.
Third and final review.
That's probably something to humble us now that our egos are completely inflated after 2 5-star reviews.
I'm feeling great now. I think this will bring me down to earth.
Yeah.
Still 5 stars, but it's titled, Have you ever heard of... It's titled, Have you ever heard of a boat? This will make sense. Question about ice road truckers. In the podcast, you state that these communities can't get reached in summer because the lakes have melted.
Oh, a boat.
You stupid. Ever heard of a boat? Swear like sailors, but obviously never heard of one.
It's not wrong.
Keep up the good work. Love the pod fellas. And just remember, I know where you both live. And that's from, I wouldn't know. It's just IN space J space H space HBJVB JCJJJBB.
Yeah, look, may have never heard of a boat, but have you ever heard of autocorrect?
Full stop BB at the end. Have you ever heard of a fucking name, dude? Did it come at us?
That's from our lovely friend Callum.
Yes.
So how's it?
Which I wouldn't know if you didn't tell me that, but
forever known as Boat Boy.
Shots fired from Boat Boy. Yeah, I guess we didn't think of that, dude. Guess we didn't think you could reach those communities with a boat in the summer.
Yeah, but we were thinking from the minds of the Alaskans. They don't do boats.
No, they're
what's that? Is that like a truck for water?
Hey, they see the rivers and they run away from them.
Well, guess we've got to go back this way.
Yep, back to hibernation. Another 12 months.
Back to our 17 frozen forklifts, I guess. Chisel
If I can't drive a forklift over it, I'm not doing it. Get me a forklift on. Wait, a boat? You mean like a forklift? Is that like a forklift that goes on water?
What's a forklift that you can lift above the water so it don't sink? You talking about the boat? Hey!
You mean like an ark?
Like Noel used to drive.
Okay, now you're talking my language.
All right, now we're cooking.
If you would like to get involved with the show, if you'd like to hear your review read out, head to Apple Podcasts, leave us a... Is that rain? Yeah, dude.
Oh, shit, yeah.
It is pouring down on this tin roof here.
I don't know if that'll come through on the recording. Hopefully not, but...
If it is, just fucking, I reckon it's cozy.
Yep.
It's ASMR, dude. Pour out a tea.
That's bloody heavy, yeah.
Don't say anything. That is heavy.
Yep.
I reckon they'll hear that. If you can't hear what we're talking about, crank it up. You'll hear it.
I don't think they will.
Okay, don't worry. We can hear it.
We're just people are just like, what are they talking about?
Pour yourself a tea, light a candle, go put on some free-to-air.
Just get up 2 tabs on YouTube, one with us, and then the other with rain sounds in the background, and you know what we're talking about, all right? Grow up!
Get her done!
You expect us to do all the work?
A lot of heavy lifting going on. That's why we need you guys to get involved, leave us a review, we'll read it out, and we'll probably take the piss out of you as we have today with all 3 of our reviews.
Absolutely, yep. Some of you will raise us up like the mighty Broncos did this week, and some of you will beat us back down, just like reality will to Broncos next week.
Hey, we are playing manly. They are playing well.
The Seagulls.
Seagulls. Tell me turbo.
Yeah, it's we'll see. But yeah, thank you for those reviews.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah,
absolutely. But as far as onto the content for this week, we have chosen to go back to rural America. We were did Ice Road Truckers a couple of weeks ago. We thought we'd give a little breather from that part of the world and do Come Dine With Me.
Yeah,
some very bad accents.
Yeah, no Australian in the past like 8 weeks of excuse me content. We've been all over the globe, but yeah, we're back to North America.
We are
back to Alaska.
We're back to the rural area, the Alaskan Bush People, I guess. So that's what I wrote, Bush Peep.
Alaskan Bush Peeps.
Yeah.
Great show.
You can watch it on 9 now. I think it's season 3. You can get a handful of episodes there, and episode 1 of season 4 on 9 now streaming. Essentially, if you don't know what Alaskan Bush People is,
Alaskan Bush People is a reality documentary series that introduces the Brown family. Billy, wife Amy, and their 7 grown children, who, according to Discovery, are interesting because they are unlike any other family in America. Mm-hmm. The channel says they are so far removed from civilization that they often go 6 to 9 months each year without seeing an outsider. They refer to themselves as a wolf pack, and perhaps due to isolation, have their own accent and dialect. The Browns live in the Copper River Valley, where temperatures can drop up to 60 degrees below zero, and the family recently relocated and built a cabin there because they say their former home of many years was seized and burned down for being in the wrong location on public land. So basically, these guys are like into the wild, the family.
Yeah.
They had enough with civilization. They were like, fuck it. We're going to go raise some kids up in the Alaskan Bush River.
As remote as it gets when you're not in a town called Pekanjicum.
Yeah. We're in Copper River Valley. At least I can pronounce this one.
No, it's in, I'm sure, well, obviously you're reading it straight off Google, so that's
Go on, correct me.
Chichagov?
Oh, yeah, Chichagov, which is, yeah, I'm sure Copper River Valley is maybe a section of that.
That's probably the county or something.
But this show started out on the Discovery Channel as like a proper, like kind of, I think it was kind of pure doco back then.
Yeah.
Just documenting these guys' lives. And then I think what's happened is it's morphed into more of a reality show where it's a bit more scripted. They're quite open about it. It's like pseudo-scripted, pseudo-reality.
Yeah.
It's a bit of both, and it's not 100% pure. Just put a camera down and see how these Browns live.
Yeah, hit record and see what these weirdos get up to.
Yeah, it's a bit of narrative written in there now.
Yeah, regardless of the narrative, like you can just tell that they are their genuine weird self.
What did you think of Alaskan Bush People?
I thought it was interesting. At first, I think it was just probably the hangover. I was just like, oh, I don't know if I can watch this shit. But no, I was definitely like looking at you, just going, these guys are just super strange. Like I think every single fucking these mozzies come.
Yeah, we got some midgies in here.
Yeah, they're coming at me left, right, and center. They can
got good blood.
They can smell the sugar I drank last night.
They're fiending all these mozzies are drunk off your blood.
Yeah, they're going for that Canadian club.
Yeah, I haven't had a single one on me.
Yeah, so like every interaction that you see on the show or every interview that one of the family members has on camera, it just brings up a new like conversation point of like, what the fuck? What is going on? Like, what is going on in this person's head? Yeah. Like, to give a little bit of perspective, so it's Billy and Amy are the two the two paternal maternal members of the family, parents, I guess I could say.
To compensate for your hangovers, I swear I'm so smart. Mum and dad, bro.
You're honestly pushing your brain too hard. It's going to leak out. You see blood coming out of my nose.
You're focusing on all the wrong shit. Just try to have a conversation. Don't fucking... The paternal and maternal sectors of the group of people, otherwise known as La Familia.
You douchebag.
You fucking nerd.
You fucking shaved the mullet and 2 weeks later you're saying words with 3 syllables in it.
Yeah, mum and dad of the family. Billy and Amy.
Billy and Amy and their kids. I didn't get all the kids' names, but here's some of them. Snowbird, Rainy, Bam Bam, Matt. Obviously that was the first kid. They were just like, yep, that's the one name we know.
Yeah.
Gabe. And then there was just some really strange names. Bear.
Did you say Bear? Yeah.
Bear was another name, correct.
So Billy and Amy they got creative with the kids' names, but I mean it's fitting when you meet the kids. I feel like it feels like one of those things. I wouldn't be surprised if the kids weren't named at birth, but they kind of like chose their own name or like established. They had a bit of a say in what they're called based on like Bear's character. He's very much like a little fucking gremlin psycho.
Yeah, he is a little animal, isn't he?
So he's like, I'm gonna be Burr. I don't like Alex. I'm gonna be Burr.
There's at least like 4 or 5 clips of Bear just like running on all fours throughout the show. It's like, what are you doing? And it's just him just having fun. His definition of having fun is kicking around a bucket.
Kicking a bucket.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, sometimes it's not all hard work out here. Sometimes we like to play games, let our hair down.
Listen, growing up out here, we didn't have a whole lot of toys growing up, so we had to find our own fun. And this is one of our fun games called Kick Bucket.
Kick Bucket. It's just an empty bucket that he hurls. He's playing with his sister who's like slower than him, so he just runs up to the bucket every time.
Nowhere near as much energy.
Boots it 10 meters down the road. He's running around on all fours like Gollum or fucking Andy Serkis in Planet of the Apes. And then she's just like 5 meters behind like, this isn't fun. This hasn't been fun for 10 years.
Come on, we'll play or I'll make you my favorite color, red.
Yeah. Yeah, so Bear's thing in the show, they all kind of have a thing. And his
gimmick.
His gimmick is his favorite color.
Apart from being an absolute psycho.
Yeah, apart from being Gollum, is his favorite color is red.
Yep. I love the color red. I've always loved it as a child.
Yeah.
And like the first thing you see of him is in like a Michael Jackson Thriller red leather jacket. And like the first clip of him is just doing a commando roll through the trees. Just, hey.
It's like, how is that thing not just covered in dirt? It looks like it's fresh out of fucking
Vogue magazine.
The Thriller video.
Yeah.
The original. But they're like in the bush. And I'm like, man, why are you wearing jeans and a red leather jacket with gold zippers?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I've never heard of Michael Jackson, but my favorite color is red. So, and then he's just his mission in this episode, Bear's mission is he's got a tree house because he's like that.
Yeah,
I think the rest of them live in like an actual house.
Like a cabin or something.
Yeah. He's like, I want my own tree house. And he wants to paint it red.
And they don't have red paint out there.
There's no paint out in the Alaskan Bush River.
There's no bloody Dulux out there, mate.
So he's got to make his own paint. So it's just him collecting berries for an episode in between kicking buckets.
Loves buckets.
Loves buckets. So he puts all the red berries into another bucket.
Not the one he's kicked to shit.
This is my kicking bucket. This is my berry
This
bucket.
is my berry crushing bucket.
His sister, the whole episode, is just there to watch him. She has nothing to do.
I swear her job is just make like Billy and Amy are just make sure Bear doesn't like accidentally kill himself or kill someone else today.
She's his permanent carer.
Yeah.
Just looking after him. And it's just it cuts to Bear he's collected all the berries now. I think there's like one that's a bit red and one that's a bit blue to make he's like, this will make the right shade of red that I want my treehouse to be. And he's just laying into these berries.
Got them in a big bucket and just giving them
just punching down like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, never loses energy, never breaks a sweat. There's just like a full-blown ADHD mentality going about it. And then he puts his foot in there, starts stomping it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he's got his left foot in there stomping it. And he's like, oh, my right foot's getting jealous. I got to get that in there.
His sister's like, chill.
Just relax.
And he's just rolling up like some denim Levi's to do it as well.
Yeah.
Like none of these guys just you'd picture them like just wearing Tarzan, like cut off, just torn.
Yep, like pelts.
Yeah. He's just like rolled up some Levi's and he's like, all right, my right leg's getting jealous. Get me in there, get it done.
And we found out how he got all that energy for the day with his breakfast in the morning.
Oh, the eggs.
Yeah, the eggs. The eggening. So the first clip you see is as I mentioned him
Take it away, Eggman.
Well, this is time for the non-vegan on the show as a residential egg expert.
Don't miss that opportunity.
Second take. First shot you see of him is doing a commando roll. He's not just doing a commando roll for the sake of it. He's commando rolling to the chicken coop, getting a view and gets the eggs for the day. And like they get like a cast iron skillet over a fire. And his sister, aka his supervisors, like his guidance counselors, watching him. She like cracks an egg on the side of the fry pan and puts it in. He's like, "Is that how you open an egg?"
He's like, "You're far too delicate with it." She's cracking it, yeah, like a normal human.
Yeah,
pulling it apart. But yeah, go.
No, please.
And then Bear's like, "You're too careful with it," and he just grabs the egg and punches it.
Puts it in one palm and just fucking. This guy just loves punching delicate things.
I've never seen someone crack an egg like this, and he's like, "You're too careful with it."
And he's like, "Look at that! Those eggs are beautiful. They're black, brown, rubbery, dry."
And then it just kind of pours into the cast iron skillet, and then when they're finished eating them, his sister's like picking little bits of shell out of her egg, and I'm like, "That's definitely because Bear fucking punched it with his bare knuckles.
It's your fault."
Yeah, and then Bear's like, "Oh yeah, see, that's because you're being too delicate with it." Blames her for the fucking egg shrapnel.
She's like, that's my pile of eggshells over there in a neat
pieces
in a neat pile. Yep, your eggshells ended up in the eggs, you dickhead.
He's like, "See, you got to punch him more.
Need more protein. I'm gonna punch a lot of berries today. I'm gonna kick a lot of buckets."
And then once he's made his paint,
his berry cocktail,
his berry Dulux.
Yep.
He starts just painting the wall with it, which is with the intention of the paint. He was like, "I'm going to make it all red." So they've got like a makeshift paintbrush, which is kind of a branch, and they're going over the inside of his
inside of his treehouse,
and it just looks like fucking blood on the walls. It looks like an insane person.
It definitely looks psychotic, murderous
for sure. It looks like someone's been let out of the loony bin, and they're fucking and they're painting their serial killer is painting their wall red.
It's B-roll from The Shining.
Yeah, and he's going, "See, I'm usually like a bit destructive and I can be a bit crazy, but sometimes I do some delicate stuff like this as well."
I really like, sometimes all I really like to do is the destructive stuff. And he talks like that, like he's just like straight out of a fucking 90s cover metal band.
Yeah, with the fucking facial hair.
The Fred Durst. He's just got like, it's like, it looks like a mini necktie that goes from the bottom of his lip down the middle of his chin, like right down to his neck. Just the worst facial hair you could possibly think of.
Just like almost the Shannon Knoll, but just a bit longer.
Yeah.
It's like, just go,
well, at least Shannon Knoll, the soul patch. Like,
yeah.
As much as I'm never going to sport a goatee or a soul patch, at least at that point in time that there was like, that's something that's like passable.
Yeah.
This is just like, you look like you drilled hair.
Yeah.
Well, you look like you ate shit and didn't wipe it off your chin this morning, mate. It is so bad. It's just a little airstrip. You got like a fucking vagina waxing of an airstrip on his chin. Yuck.
Yep. Here's a landing strip. Come here, darling.
Put all the flesh in here, all the eggshells in here. Fly them in.
It's an arrow pointing to it's a hair arrow pointing to red goes here.
To his fangs. So that's Bear.
But he's like, I'm when he's painted the wall, he's like, I'm usually doing destructive stuff, but this is pretty chill and delicate. And then it cuts to him just hurling berries at the wall.
Yeah, just fucking flinging it like he looks like a monkey in a zoo flinging shit at the wall.
It's not even an even shade of red on the wall. It's an even shade. Like the whole thing is kind of bright red, and then just blotches, fucking pollocking.
Yeah, his sister's like trying to actually like brush, like paint the berry mixture on, and he's just like rubbing his hands all over it. Like it literally looks like a toddler smearing shit on a wall.
Keep in mind, this guy's like 28.
Yeah,
he's not like an ADHD 14-year-old. He's a man.
Yeah.
So that's Bear.
That is Bear. So he's probably my favorite on the show.
Yeah. Yep. He was a good char. He's not up there. He's not number one for me.
I would say the eldest son of the family, and probably the most well put together, probably like the most well rounded of them all. Some of them seem pretty normal. Matt is his name, so normal name for a normal bloke.
Yeah.
And his job like he has an arc that goes throughout the show, this episode anyway, where he's got to find meat to provide for the family over winter. First thing he does is that he's like, I need to go fishing to keep myself sustained while I'm out here hunting for deer. 'Cause he had some bad luck in trying to find a deer. And like, you remember what he was doing when he was fishing?
What? Oh, when he caught the fish?
No, well, yeah, when he caught the fish, how he was holding the fishing pole.
Yeah, cursed.
Yeah.
Looked like he'd never fished a day in his life.
He was holding it normally at first, just reeling it in. Don't really need to describe to you how to use a fishing rod. I think that's pretty day one stuff.
But then he gets a snag.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I got one. He gets excited.
Instead of reeling it in like a normal human being, he grabs the end of the fishing pole, the weakest, flimsiest part, and then just starts walking backwards with it. Matt, you're meant to be the eldest.
It's like he just went, no, I'm done with the reel now that I can really put it to use. I'm done with the thing that's going to bring the fish to me.
Yep.
With me standing here, I'm just going to grab it by the pointy end and walk away with it.
Look,
he's hocking it over his shoulder and just going, all right.
Yep. Back to work.
Come with me.
It's I mean, look, to play devil's advocate and roasting him, the rod might have broken.
To his credit.
Yep, to his credit, the rod might have broken. He was just improvising on like how to pull it in, but it was not a good look for Matto.
After he's coming off the back of saying like, yeah, I've been really bad at providing for the family lately.
Yep.
I haven't caught any fish or deer in months. It's like, well, dude, learn how to use a fishing rod and then you'll have a bit more luck.
Yeah, listen, the problem's not you trying to find food. The problem is when you get the food, you don't know how to bring it in.
He's like, I've come this close every time. For some reason, I keep losing it.
It's just him like hunting for a deer, and he's like looking down the fucking barrel.
He's got the gun backwards. All right, we're gonna catch me some deer. For some reason, I just keep getting shot in the shoulder out here. Every time I go to shoot a fucking deer, it gets me.
He gets me back. He must have on his
another flesh wound.
Hey, he's a good shot, this one. I gotta be quicker next time.
Producer's like, should we tell him to hold it? He's holding it backwards.
Shh, no, this is really good. Let the idiot keep going.
Matt, I thought you were the smart one, dude.
But he does prevail. He has his protein for the evening, and then he goes out and he finds a deer.
He catches a fish first, and then he goes.
He gets
out.
his protein from the fish. Yep.
Yeah,
and then he goes out, finds a deer, hunts it down, and then he's got to lug this 150-pound deer back to camp. Before he does that, he like guts it, pulls out its entrails, like its stomach and stuff, and then just for some reason he decides to just wipe the blood on his face, like he's just the hunt is on.
Yeah, he's like he first off guts the thing like fucking Han Solo in Luke in Star Wars, just gutting.
It was Han. Yep.
Was it Han?
Yep.
Yeah, it was because he's trying to get warm for the night. He's looking for Luke.
Yep. It's not going to smell good, kid, but it'll keep you warm.
Yeah. Empire.
Yeah, Hoth.
He guts it like that.
Yeah.
And then just he's pulling out the stomach, and you can tell this is real. Like they haven't got a fake deer in there.
No.
Fucking, like these parts of it are definitely
This
real.
is gold.
Yeah. And I've got a weak stomach at the best of times with like pimple popping videos on YouTube or like
true.
Yeah, like if there's ever that like for the podcast, we're never gonna watch like embarrassing bodies or like real life surgery shows.
We probably wouldn't watch embarrassing bodies. There's not like a lot to pick apart. They're like, hey, look at this guy. Yuck.
This guy's dick is a bit weird.
This guy was born with no ass. Just goes straight down to his legs. His back just goes straight to his legs.
I'm just like, oh, I can't watch it. Oh, give me back the deer stomach.
Yeah,
please.
just give me the kidneys and the entrails. Just anything but a pimple.
So I'm bad with all of that shit to start with, but this is like, ooh, that's a real deer just getting pulled apart.
Yeah.
He just so nonchalantly he pulls out the stomach and then he's just like, liver.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is red liver, and then he pulls out the heart. Almost like still fucking beating, and he's like, yeah, he's like, that's a good heart. This isn't about just hanging the horns up on the wall out here in the bush. We respect the animal. We use every part of it.
Yeah, and then he just tosses. He's like, I'll leave that for the bears. Yeah. It's like, what?
We use every part of it. Throws the stomach, throws the liver, throws the heart.
You don't want the stomach.
No.
He was very careful, and he was like very careful not to pierce the stomach because it would have just made a grotesque mess.
Oh, imagine that stomach acid, fucking yeah! It was this big white jelly sack. If you've seen a deer stomach or a hunting video, you know what we're talking about.
And if you haven't, go check out the episode.
Speaking of that, I was just thinking before, what was the episode that we watched? Do you
I think it
remember?
was episode 17.
Episode 17, season 3.
Yeah.
It's on Channel 9.
It's on 9 now. Yeah.
There you go, for those who watch along content that we watch. So then he hucks this thing over his shoulder, puts on this kind of Inspector Gadget hat and trench coat. It just looks insane. He's like, all right, now the journey begins.
Yeah. But yeah, he gets like 4 steps in, and then he's like, "Oh, it's bear season. Maybe I shouldn't have covered myself in blood and just left this hot spot of stench and aroma for the bears that can smell it from miles away."
Yeah. So his plan to counteract the human bear magnet that he's created for himself is he's got a tarp and he puts the deer down, and it's like. Full power to him. Matt is a fucking gun. His arms got pythons for fucking
absolute pistons. Yeah,
yeah. Just like he's shredded out of his mind. Not even shredded, just fucking yoked.
Just he's got that what do they call it? Farm strength.
Yeah, living off the land body. Yeah,
just fucking Hercules arms.
Yeah, shit that comes from climbing trees, not from lifting dumbbells.
Holding bear down. His brother bear, not an actual
bullying bear. You know, one day I got these guns.
Punching eggs.
So he fucking yokes this thing over his shoulder, and he's just carrying it like a true man.
Yeah, like it's a duffel bag.
Yeah, like it's a duffel bag. And it's like, what did he say, 120 pounds? Something like that.
120, 150, which is probably like
80 kilos.
60, 70 kilos. He's just lugging it and just like, dude.
And he's got the longest walk back. So anyway, he's doing that. Realizes he's a bear magnet, puts it down on the ground and rolls it up in this tarp. And he's like, all right, there's a bit of a risk with rolling up in this tarp because moisture gathers in a tarp. I might ruin the meat by the time I get there, but beats getting eaten by a bear.
Yeah, it beats, just being an absolute attractive for any predator for miles around.
Yeah, so he starts his long journey back. Almost comes in, oh no, he does come into an encounter with a bear. Yeah, that night he's lighting his fire.
Yep.
And he's kind of chilling. This is where I start questioning the show because I'm like, did he really come into an encounter with a bear?
I was literally just thinking that. So firstly, he's like very precautious that he rolls up the deer like it's a bloody cigarette into the tarp, and then
good roll, bro.
Yeah, that's tight. Yep. Deer meat.
Is this a deer filter?
This is Alaskan deer meat tobacco.
When you pop it goes from menthol to deer. Oh, yum.
Venison darts.
Fuck. That's empty.
But then he just completely, so he's like, yeah, I do that just to like prevent any smell so I don't attract bears. And then he completely contradicts that when he goes like, sets down for the night, lights a fire, and then he like cuts a bit of fat out of the deer, sets that on fire as like a kindling.
Yeah. So he undoes all his good work, unrolls the deer cigarette, pulls the deer out.
Deer dart.
Yeah, the deer dart, yeah.
The deer.
Yes.
Strikeout.
Home run.
And the crowd goes wild.
Deer dart.
His brain's working after the paternal-maternal fiasco.
Jake is back.
He's not hungover anymore. This is the hangover cure.
The crowd goes wild for deer dart. And so he starts, apparently, deer fat is flammable. So he's like, I'm going to start this fucking fire. So, yeah, I assume it would be. So
fat is like oil.
Yeah, true, yeah. So he makes a nice big fire, and then he's like, oh, I think I heard something crackling over there.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's all night vision, because we've gotten night, so it's all green and black. And he is like, I heard something crackling over there. And then there's just kind of conveniently inserted, like, B-roll shots of just a bear walking around.
Yeah.
Like they've shoved a camera in the ground. There's a low angle pointing up and this bear pretty much walks right over it. And it's like, how'd you get that?
It's not even the same. It's not even in Alaska.
But it's all night vision. So they're like, people can't fucking tell.
Yeah.
It's at night.
Listen, it came straight after the shot of Matt lighting up the deer fat. So you know they're in the exact same location.
Power of editing.
Mm-hmm. This is called continuity, kids.
That's why I went to film school.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what they teach Alaskan Bush People, editing 101.
So you could pick up on bullshit like them having a fake bear there.
Matt isn't going to pull the deer skin over my eyes.
No. But he, as I said, did it to himself, lighting up the fat. It's like, mate, I know that you need to light a fire, but Gammon.
Yeah, gammon. Just makes a delicious smelling. Another lights a bear magnet on the ground, pretty much. Yeah.
But he prevails, gets the deer back home. Which
He lights a flare.
He lights a flare.
He notices there's a bear coming, then he starts like yelling because I think you're supposed to make loud noises when you hear a bear.
No, he starts barking like a dog.
Yeah. All right, Matt.
Who let the mats out?
Who let bear? Who let fucking bear the human?
Matt, bear's meant to be the fucking weird animalistic one, not you.
He's like, dude, I'm trying to survive. You make fucking dog noises when there's a bear there.
Producer's just flicking through the script. This isn't right. we gave Matt the wrong lines.
So he starts going, woo, and then lights a flare, which I didn't know he had out there.
Yeah.
And apparently that scares the bear off, and he's like, okay, yeah, nah, I'm good. Mm-hmm. And then he makes it home.
But so yeah, he's one of the main sort of storylines throughout this one episode we watched.
That's a good egg.
Matt is a good egg. One of the more interesting ones was Noah.
Noah.
He was the created.
Oh, Noah.
I think he was meant to say creative, but he's one of the children he's the self-titled created of the family.
Yeah, he's kind of the thespian.
Yes. Yeah.
You just can't say the word that he identifies as.
Like, again, similar vein in the family that he's weird, but just like so unique in his own way.
He does like Tai Chi.
Yeah, he was doing there was shots of him just like doing weird sort of Tai Chi in topless
in the fog.
In the field. Yeah, fog just going fucking Alaskan Ip Man.
Bear's in the back crawling on all fours, acting like Gollum. He's like, this guy's fucking weird, dude.
You thought I was the weird one. Fucking check this guy out.
This guy doing some fucking absolute Neo from the Matrix bullshit.
All right, I'm going to go punch the eggs.
Bro, make some berry paint with me for once, you fucking weirdo.
Can you just for once figuratively kick the bucket?
Yeah.
But, fucking another dinger. It's another what? Dinger.
Oh, you said something else.
Get your head out of the gutter.
Don't worry.
Ding is a term in baseball, brother.
Yep. I'm with you.
All I do is hit dingers.
Yeah, okay, good.
Slinging dingers.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, his job of the show, he only gets like a little 5 to 8 minute segment. They're like 40-minute episodes. But his mother Amy comes along and she's like, we need something to churn milk into butter.
Yeah. Big job for, what's his name?
Noah.
Big job for Noah. He gets tasked with, can you make a butter churner?
Yeah.
And he's like, I guess, Mom.
Yeah.
And she's like, thanks.
Yeah. Just leave him to be occupied in the shed, just making stuff that we'll never use.
Noah needs something to do.
Yep.
Yeah, and then it turns out, so Noah makes this butter churner.
Shutterbug.
He makes this butter churner, and it does the job because they've recently got a cow, which they've been milking.
Sabrina
the cow. So they've been getting the milk from her and then making butter with it. And it's this kind of fucked like machine. It works, but it's cursed, and it looks kind of like a fuck machine 3000.
Yeah, I think
it's one of those fucking dildo stabbers or something.
I think it's because we never see butter being made, so us seeing butter being churned for the first time, I'm like, hey,
but we do see a lot of what we associated it with. Brazzers.
Yeah, as soon as we see someone churning butter, it's like, oh, it's a fuck machine.
I didn't realize I was watching a porno. You're watching too many Amish themed pornos.
Oh yeah, you gotta help me churn the butter, all right.
We're just watching Weird Al's fucking Amish Paradise. We're like, oh, that's one of those things. It's like, no, it's a real thing that communities without butter, without supermarkets,
can have a lot of fun with that physical bit if you're watching. Just
bow, 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 bow.
Can't see what's going on under this table.
Kind of like the scene from Ghost, because that's what ends up happening. Noah makes the device, and then the mum and the dad come in, and they have like a romantic little fling in there where they're churning butter together.
Yeah, bonding.
And Amy, the mum, is like, it's very rare that me and Billy get to spend any quality time together anymore. So when there is a project that we get to work on, it is really nice. And it's just, you can tell they're getting it's a real aphrodisiac, this butter for them. They're getting really into it. Yeah. So basically what happened was the mum went to the son and said, me and your father have lost the spark. We need you to make a device that's going to churn our butter, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, Noah walks in, he's like, that's not meant for making butter. The two weirdos talking about it in Brisbane on their podcast, they got the idea right.
Mum, you told me you and Dad needed the spark back, so I made you a dildo fuck machine.
I thought you winked at me when you said you needed something to make butter.
Butter. we need the, I can't think of any more butter puns.
Spread it.
Spread it.
And then it's just it doesn't look appetizing at all. The butter they make it's
chunky.
It's I won't liken it to what we said it looks like, but it's just
you can imagine. Use your imagination.
Just some real rancid looking stuff.
And they're putting it in each other's mouths like it's their first date just cooked. They're like, and
then it cuts.
It's good butter.
10 minutes later in the episode, it cuts to your favorite character, Gabe. And he's spreading the homemade love butter on his bread. And he's like, this is really good. Doesn't even taste like butter.
Mum and Dad made this? Just the two of them in a shed
Hang
for
on.
like 6 hours?
They made this morning before they got the churner from Noah.
They're like, Sabrina's not even pregnant right now. She's not even producing milk. How'd they make this butter?
Just the grandfather clock going off in his head.
This tastes a bit more like Dad than Mom. I don't know. And more like both of them than it does Sabrina.
Oh, well, tastes good anyway.
Yeah, well, nothing else to eat out here.
Back to
Guess I'll eat the fucking love product of Mom and Dad.
Back to the task at hand that he struggles with mightily throughout the show.
Gabe the simpleton.
Yep. So he's a bit built similar to Matt. Just built like an absolute brick shithouse. Farm strength, just probably even beefier than Matt. But just
more to him.
I mean, good thing that he's got the brawn because he's definitely not the brains.
Yeah, he gets tasked with so Billy the dad comes out and tasks Gabe and his brother
Bam Bam.
Bam Bam. Bam Bam, thank you, ma'am. And Bam Bam's actually
we're hitting them all today.
Another one.
Another one.
They're all like fucking 3 out of 10s.
And the crowd goes wild. It's a single.
Bam Bam, thank you, ma'am.
And it's a foul. It's a foul ball. Strikeout.
It's a wicket.
What game do you think we're playing? We're playing kick bucket, man, not baseball.
So Billy comes out and he's like, all right, Bam Bam, Gabe, and the daughter, Snowbird.
Yes, Snowbird.
Snowbird.
Bird.
So Snowbird, Bam Bam, and Gabe are tasked with building a fortress around Sabrina, who is the cow that they've recently got.
A bear-proof barn.
A bear-proof barn because they're scared about the bears getting to Sabrina the cow.
Yeah.
Because recently they've been staying up all night on bear watch, trying to protect Sabrina the cow. And a bear does come, it smells Sabrina, and it's like
bovine.
The steak. So they kind of like commando roll, watch this bear, just kind of like scare it off, fire a warning shot. And that's what makes them go, we need to build a fucking bear fortress for this cow. So they have, that's Gabe and Bam Bam and Snow Girl.
Snowbird.
Snow
Girls.
And Snowbird's tasked for the thing. They have to build this fucking fortress, and it doesn't go to plan.
No. Gabe straight away was like, I'm taking point. I'm the, I'm kind of like the foreman around here. I'm the unofficial. Kept saying throughout it, he's like, yeah, I'm kind of the big dog around here.
I'm kind of the self-appointed unofficial leader of this pack.
Yep. We need a, what's it called? A dictator?
Yeah.
Don't know what it means, but it sounds right.
Sounds like I'm in charge. I like the sound of that.
Someone needs to take point on a project like this.
And his brother and sister who were trying to build it with him are both like, dude, we can do this as a team effort. We probably don't need you to be in charge.
Yep.
Can you at least pretend that we're here? And Bam Bam, who's his brother, is way more intelligent. He's like probably the smartest one of the bunch. And he's like, hey guys, maybe we should like measure this out and see how many sheets of tin we've got to go around this thing. And fucking Gabe is just like, no, just get another one and put it up next to it and see if it fits.
He's like, if you're gonna rush it, you're gonna run into problems, man.
Yeah, he's like, we got to do it by tonight.
Shut up, nerd.
Yeah, literally. Gabe's running around with the mindset of if we don't do this by tonight, by sundown, then we have to watch fucking Sabrina do Bear Watch for another night. So he's really just trying to get it done quickly. And Bam Bam was like, if we calmly sit down and measure things out, he says to Gabe, he's like, do you have one of those things called a tape measure lying around? And Gabe literally just runs off. He's like, no, I don't have a tape measure, but I've got another sheet of metal.
Yep.
So he grabs this like 4 meter long sheet of metal and he's just measuring it with that.
Just what you'd see on like a shed. Yep.
Yeah.
And he and he tries to go. They're like putting it wide widthways along the shed, just
Horizontally.
Horizontally, that's the word. Fuck. Slowly decomposing.
Gears are turning. Homer's monkey just fucking clashing cymbals in your head.
Wake me up. Wake me up inside. But yeah, so they put it horizontally to measure it out, and then Gabe has the brilliant idea to like try and put it up vertically, and he gets it like stuck in a tree, and Bam Bam's like, oh, that's good. Get it stuck in a tree. That's what we want.
Bam Bam's just offering snarky, sarcastic comments the whole time.
Yeah.
What was that thing he said when he's like,
do
you know it?
Yeah, he was like, you know, if it's when people try and rush and try and do things quickly, they end up taking a lot longer because they run into mistakes along the way.
And then Gabe's like, you talking about me?
No, just talking about people in general. Just
way over his head.
Yeah.
As Gabe is still like just fucking fiddling, just inspecting this metal sheet. He's like, stops for a second. He's like, was that about me? He's like, no, I'm just generally talking about something else that happens to apply to this situation exactly.
We're doing something right now where we're having a dilemma where you're rushing shit and we're running into mistakes, but I'm not talking about you at all, you absolute numbskull.
Bam Bam's like, how are you my fucking brother? You're so stupid.
Clearly the genetics did not transfer over. I got all the brains.
There was one bit where they were still trying to put up this tin shed on this fortress, and they go, Gabe's just, this is why he's my favorite.
This is great.
They've got it vertically now, so they're trying to put this piece of tin shed on this wooden post vertically, and it's too tall. Mm-hmm. It's going above the top of the fortress, and they're like, when we put the roof on, that's going to be too high.
Yeah.
And Gabe's like, hold on, let me try it this way, and he just flips it the other way around.
As if it's going to be a different size.
It's going to be a different size.
Maybe if I flip it, it'll fit.
Bam Bam's like, dude, it's not. It's the same piece of sheet no matter which way you stand it up.
This is like those baby toys where it's like a hollow ball with like different shapes you got to pull out. And you got to pull it through like a square peg in a round hole.
Square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
I reckon you could use one of those this morning just to get this fucking juices.
Mate, I would have struggled with it. I just fucking would have thrown it at the wall like it was red berries.
Put an abacus in front of you this morning and just watch you fucking slowly come back to a 25-year-old.
It'll happen someday.
Oh, the old days.
But today is not that day.
The good old days of waiting in a GP hospital and you just had the abacus and the fucking the
mate.
playpen.
Yep.
Take me back to the
sweet times in the waiting room.
The fun toys and get my prostate checked.
I got chicken pox.
Hey, I got chicken pox.
Gonna die in a week.
Gotta go to a sleepover. Well.
Give it to all the other kids.
Spread it around so I don't get it when I'm older.
Yeah, isn't that twisted? Hey, like,
yeah.
I honestly can't recall if it ever happened to me, but there's that legend or the thing that parents used to do. It's like if one kid in the neighborhood's got chickenpox, have a sleepover with that kid so all the kids get it.
Yeah,
and that way they won't get it when they're older.
Herd immunity, bros. That's what I've been saying to ScoMo with this COVID thing for all of this whole time.
Yeah, can you sneeze in my mouth?
Get patient X. Let's all have one big sleepover. COVID's cured within a month.
What if we all eat a bat?
Hear me out.
I got a crazy idea that just might work. If I flip it, will it fit?
That's Gabe trying to solve fucking COVID.
What if we just all eat bats?
Genius.
And at the very end of the day, they fail. Back to the shed.
Yeah, back to the shed, yeah.
At the very end of the day, they don't get it completely set up. And Bam Bam walks over to find Gabe sitting on a fallen down giant tree, just looking like an absolute toddler. He's got one hammer that he's banging with another big mallet. So he's hitting a hammer with a hammer. His Bam Bam's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just fixing stuff. Fucking idiot. It's the funniest thing. Where he's literally like, he's sitting like sprawled out, just like a big old toddler on the tree, just malleting away, like he's trying to fix
On
something.
another hammer.
And he's just and he's crying. He's crying because he didn't make the shed. He didn't make the shed in time, so it's sundown. He's just crying. He just looks like a defeated guy. He's just, I'm just fixing stuff. And Bam
literally walks over. He's like, "What are you doing?"
Jesus Christ, what have I walked into now, Gabe?
I'm just hitting this hammer with this other hammer. What does it look like I'm doing?
What do you want, smart guy? I don't know how to do anything. So I gotta hit a hammer. Oh my god.
I'm not smart like you, Bam Bam. All I can do is bam bam this hammer into this other hammer.
Bam, this bam into the ham.
Hey Gabe, what are you doing? Oh, just your name.
Oh my
Just
god.
Bam Bam.
That's the thing. Like, I didn't find it that funny, but retelling it, oh my god, that's the highlight of the show.
Because I said it twice when we were watching it. I was like, dude, he's hitting that hammer with that other hammer. And you kind of like didn't pay it much mind. You were just kind of like, yeah, like making notes in your phone.
I was like, hasn't everyone done that?
Yeah. I was like, okay, I thought that was really funny. And I said it a second time, I was like, you're still hitting that hammer with the other hammer.
I was like, oh,
And again, you're like, whoa, yeah.
oh, now the hungover brains.
Bring it up in the pod. Tears.
Oh,
Gabe. That's why Gabe's my favorite.
yeah, he's just a simple fool, but you gotta love him.
The best.
And some of the, like, we spoke about Bear's facial hair. Gabe's got some pretty powerful facial hair and hairstyle going on. He's got like these real aggressive mutton chops, like from the 70s.
Yeah.
And it goes into like a big curly mullet, like Mel Gibson used to have in Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
And then just a giant rat's tail that pops out the back of his mullet.
And then also like rocks that with like when it gets cold, he just put like they're all wearing just kind of rags most of the time. But then on top of that, he just puts on like a black leather jacket that like Travolta wore in the T-Birds in Greece. And he's just like, yeah, I'm a greaser.
Oh, it's Gabe.
Huh? What about Sandy? What's Tell me more. Tell me more.
Yeah, what's his name?
Did he hit the fucking hammer with another hammer? Tell me more. But yeah, just like the coolest shit. And then there's one shot of Gabe just standing there looking cool in his leather jacket.
Yep.
And then Sabrina comes up behind him and just starts licking his leather jacket.
Yeah.
The cow licking the cow skin leather.
There's some leather on leather crime there.
It's just Sabrina going, this seems familiar.
Dad?
Does this make me carnivorous?
Not unless you eat me.
Yeah.
And get that churned butter out.
Oh. So that's Gabe.
That's Gabe.
Is there any? What else did Gabe get up to? Is that it?
No, I think that's pretty much it. That was I think the highlight of the show for us was Gabe
Let's
trying
end
to
on that. That's beautiful.
Gabe ain't the smartest tool in the shed, but he did build the shed the next day. They prevailed, and then it's literally they when they first said it, they like, we're gonna make a bear-proof barn. I'm like, how are you gonna build a barn in one day with like three people?
Yeah.
It's just not gonna work. And sure enough, they get it done in 2 days. Credit to them.
And they don't get it done in one.
No.
And 2 days is a fucking solid effort.
Yeah, absolutely. Once they get the shed done, the thing is literally like the size of this. Like it's tiny. It's smaller than this room. It's probably like 2 meters by 4 meters.
Yeah. And then Sabrina has to give Sabrina a smack on the ass and they're like, get in there, get her done. And then Sabrina just walks into this fucking tiny shed. No sunlight, no grass for her to eat on the bottom.
No
It's
water.
just dirt, no water. And they're like, all right. Now you're safe from the bear, Sabrina.
Snowbird's like, do you like your new home? She's like, I'm going to go insane in here.
Sabrina's like, I was grazing in a paddock out there. I had all the room in the world and I was happy. She's like, oh, well, you got this dark cube to look at now.
Y'all are going to die from mad cow disease.
Yeah, I'm going to fuck you up.
They just bought up poor Sabrina. All right, see you tomorrow.
Moo!
Fuck
Moo!
Fuck moo!
Fuck moo! She's like, good luck drinking my fucking milk, you.
Wolfpack!
You no standards dairy farmers. How dare you?
You fucking bush people.
I'm going to force some stool into my milk just so you have to fucking drink it. How dare you?
Oh, but that they basically they had a few different things going on, but that's Alaskan Bush People.
That's Alaskan Bush People. What does what does ABP get out of 10?
Oh, look, Alaskan Bush People, I enjoyed that a lot, and that might be just because my depleted brain, my small brain with no cells is just absorbing whatever content you feed it.
Hey, you can watch a show about incels, you may as well have no cells.
Hey. He's got it again, ladies and gentlemen. For the 4th time today, it's a home run.
Perfect.
I would probably give it, probably say like 7.5 churn butters out of 10.
Nice. 7.5 churn butters out of 10. What would I do it? What would I give it, do you ask?
Yes. I just looked at you like, and so Tom.
So I guess I'll take this for myself.
My brain is just absolute kaput right now.
All the heavy lifting around here these days. You're like Gabe, dude.
This is definitely a Gabe and Bam Bam situation. Me over here just hammering my head. And you just like, are you going to ask me what I thought of it? What would you give it, Alaskan Bush People, Thomas?
Alaskan Bush People gets 8 trapped dairy cows out of 10.
So you really liked it.
I think it was good. I think it was enjoyable. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
It's it was interesting. I think it's a whole different, like, as far as the Alaskan category of our show goes, of our podcast goes, our canon at the moment is Ice Road Truckers and this. And at the moment, this is definitely better than Ice Road Truckers.
100%. This is way better than Ice Road Truckers. If we're talking like pseudo-reality, to copy your term from before, but definitely like it's more entertaining, more enjoyable, and it might just be the wild personalities, but it's probably because there's a lot of variables, like from hunting for a deer, bringing it back and, you know, not trying to get killed by a bear, to building a shed, to painting a treehouse red, kicking a bucket in between and smashing eggs. There's just...
Are you saying that's more entertaining than RC Road? Truck.
White truck, get her done.
Get her done.
Yes, controversially I am. It's more entertaining than maps as well.
Huge statement. Yeah, watch Alaskan Bush People over maps for sure.
100%. Yeah, almost makes me want to pirate it. I wouldn't go as far as to buy it, but I would definitely download the full
season,
the full discography of it.
Watch Alaskan Bush People on channel 9, season 17. What was it? Season 3.
Episode 17, season 3. You can watch, I think there's about 8 episodes up on 9 now, and there's also 1 episode of season 4.
Fuck yeah. So go and watch that. Review OTAT. Watch us on YouTube. Listen to us on Spotify. Share it with your mates.
Yep. Thanks again for joining us this week.
Thanks again for listening.
And if you can hear the rain,
get her done.
Get her done.
On your piss.